Howdy and welcome back, race fans. It's Grand Prix Sunday, and we're live from the one and only Circuit of the Americas, also known as COTA, in Austin, Texas, the land of barbecue, cowboy hats, and some seriously unpredictable racing. COTA always delivers drama, and after yesterday's qualifying shakeup, things are looking spicy on the grid. We got strategy wildcards, tire gambles, and maybe a few drivers with some scores to settle. Will the heat get to the tires or the tempers first? Either way, we're ready for some wheel-to-wheel action, Texas style. On today's episode, we got Amy, Rachel, and me, Melissa, covering all the things you missed from this weekend. So grab your coffee or cowboy boots, and let's get into everything you need to know before lights out at COTA.
Y'all already know what it means when I start yapping, because I am back with our turn-by-turn segment, where I cover all of the track changes that come with a race weekend. And thankfully, COTA did not give me a laundry list. I was really nervous that I was going to have a crazy list, but I literally have 2 bullet points, people. They added a blue line to the apex of turn 8 and the exits at turn 10 and turn 13. And they did some resurfacing of the track before turn 3 to before turn 7, which isn't like anything wild. It is what it is. But you guys know, if you've heard me do our turn-by-turn segments, sometimes I have like 2 bullet points, sometimes I have like 10 or more. And it was nice that this was a shorter list than normal.
You had like a laundry list for Singapore. There was like 10 for Singapore.
Yep, sometimes I think I've even had as many as like 12.
Yeah.
I don't think I've gone close to like 15.
More than that, but I really would love to go back through some of our past episodes and see which track had the most amount of track changes. Maybe that's something that we should do for our end of season wrap up. If you want us to tell you which track had the most track updates, let us know, because I will happily go dig that information up.
We will. Amy will. Now, it has been made official. COTA will remain on the F1 schedule until 2034.
Thank God.
COTA,
we can keep this US track for sure.
COTA, can y'all please bring us back? We want to go back as a group so badly, so please, if you want to make that happen, we'll get ourselves there. Just if you want to hook us up with some tickets.
Literally.
We'll take like grandstand tickets.
We'll happily come back. Now, we do, of course, per usual, with our pre-race weekend fun, have to talk about all of the specialty helmets and the specialty liveries and the specialty race suits and the specialty merch that comes with races. And I feel like every single time they race in Texas, there's always
they do something.
Like, every team is like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do something. And
America.
So I have to start us off with V-Carb, because I feel like V-Carb always does, like, they never pass up an excuse to do a specialty livery.
Facts.
In any way, shape, or form. They love it. And I love that for them. They did this one. It's very interesting. It's a collaboration livery. So if y'all see me looking down, it's because I'm reading this specifically, because there's a lot of information here. It is a one-off livery for the US Grand Prix that is done alongside multi-platinum singer, songwriter, and producer Shabuzi and Cash App. According to the V-Carb site, they went for a, quote, "For a pearlescent black and amber tortoise pattern, a perfect match for the rootin' tootin' hoedown that is the 2025 US Grand Prix. The livery represents V-Carb's ongoing mission to infuse the words of motorsport, music, and American culture all in one striking, speedy, Shabuzi-flavored statement." I have thoughts, people. We all have thoughts, honestly.
I think the collab between Shabuzi and V-Carb is pretty cool. I'm a big fan of it, but I'm dead at the Ruin 2 and Hoedown. I just can't.
Trust me, if you could have seen the way my eyes rolled when I read that on their website, I was like, huh? Rachel and I had this conversation. I feel that with the U.S. Grand Prix, every team needs to be given either a Texan consultant or at minimum a Southern consultant to help them do things, because I feel like sometimes they miss the mark because most of their teams are Europeans and they just don't understand the culture.
Yeah,
that's a whole different thing.
Southern being south of Mason-Dixon.
Yes. The thing that I think disliked the most was the team t-shirts that they did with this, because it didn't give tortoise shell on the shirts. The car itself kind of gave tortoise shell because, again, they used that like pearlescent black, so it adds some depth and stuff to it. But the t-shirts low-key look like they're just like on fire. Like, it just looks like fire on these shirts, and I don't know if it's just not it for me. I really am not a huge fan of the team t-shirts that they did, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't like them. Maybe it's controversial. I hate it. I don't like it. It's not giving tortoiseshell to me. Because, and typically with the tortoiseshell, you are seeing at least 3 different colors. You're seeing like a dark color, kind of in between, and then you have a lighter color. They only kind of did 2, and the way they did the amber color, it kind of looks like Amy said, it looks like it's on fire. Like, it doesn't give... It looks more like embers in coal that are still lit than actual tortoiseshell. Also, if they do want consultants, I am available as a Texan consultant. I'm born and raised. I will, because the rootin' tootin' hollerin' is very Hollywood.
Yeah.
Texas, not actual
Texas. I'm like, nobody in Texas says rootin' tootin' hoedown. Really the heck are you guys on?
Yeah.
They need to go to like a Buc-ee's to get that real
just
Southern.
Just go to a Buc-ee's and pick a person and you're good.
Just get some Buc-ee's merch if we're being honest. You'll be fine. But the whole it looked like camouflage to me at some points.
Yeah.
Like some sort of camo, and I'm like, But I like the collab idea. I'm like,
I love a collab idea. I don't know if the execution was good.
No. Yeah. No, the concept I love. Like, in theory, it could have been great, but I feel like, at least for the shirts and, like, the physical merch that you're able to sell, it just wasn't it. The car itself, I didn't hate. I kind of liked it on the car, but again, it just didn't translate to, like, the printed stuff that they had up in the paddock, by their garage, the t-shirts, all of that kind of stuff. It just was kind of meh.
It falls flat when you're doing a pearlescent, and then you put it on a t-shirt. You can't transfer it. It doesn't work. Unless you put glitter on it.
Which would have been kind of cool. They could have put like not necessarily like a glitter, but like a shimmer.
Yeah.
Like
shimmer
something
thread.
fine.
But you can't do that if you're making like athletic wear.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Yeah. Eventually these teams will figure out how to get their ish together.
Maybe.
They probably won't.
They probably won't.
You're right, they probably won't.
A girl can dream. Don't knock me, y'all. I do have to talk about some of the specialty lids that we got, because we got a lot. I feel like we got a lot of helmets this weekend. And I have to start us off with Oscar Piastri, because he gave us like a circuit board helmet that honestly might be my favorite helmet he's done to date.
It's a great helmet. It's such a cool concept. I love the idea. I loved that it was a hollow. The silver was hollow. I absolutely I hate that it was designed with AI. I hate AI. I understand Google is their sponsor. Google is really trying to push Gemini right now. I get it. But still, I hate AI. It's so bad for the environment. And it's just... and it's stealing from other artists, and that's what also gets me about it.
Yeah.
I get it because it's their sponsor, but at the same time, I still hate it.
Yes, I loved
they
the
could
hollow.
work with the Texan that works for Google in Texas. Like,
yeah. I loved the hollow. I loved the idea of it. I am with Rachel. I wish it wasn't made with AI.
Yeah,
but I think it's definitely my favorite lid that he has done, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that he does some other, like another lid for the end of the season and does something kind of funky. But
we still got Vegas.
I hope he does one for Vegas. Yeah, I was gonna say.
I hope he does something cool for Vegas. I hope everyone does something cool for Vegas.
When did Lando do the mirror? Was that for Miami?
The disco ball?
The disco ball. I think it was
so.
Miami.
That was Miami because I have the mini version of it and I love it.
Was that Miami last year?
Nope,
no, this year.
God.
Speaking of Lando did give us a helmet. It was like a Jersey inspired helmet. He kept his like fluoro green / fluoro yellow, whatever freaking color you want to call it. It's like a greenish yellow. It's cool. The helmet itself was kind of cool, but also kind of basic in the sense of like, it was just a Jersey pattern. Like there was nothing super special about it, but it was kind of cool at the same time. I don't know. I'm like torn on how I feel about it, honestly.
It looks killer as a jersey.
Yeah.
I wasn't crazy about it. It took too long for me to figure out what it was until I read your notes, Amy, where it was like, it's like a jersey. And I'm like, it looked like a tennis ball to me the whole time.
I think that's kind of the problem.
Yeah.
Not the problem, but like that's the thing about it is that like similar with like V-carb, it doesn't translate. And even on a jersey, like if it's supposed to be for a jersey, you have to see it on a jersey.
Yeah.
It would have been cool if like he had put like his number like in a jersey format along with like Norris on, like make it more look jersey-esque.
I think he did the jersey format for the number, but he didn't put his last name on it. The last name is what would have made it better.
More apparently
exactly.
a jersey.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so.
Yep.
Drivers, talk to us. We have ideas. We'll help you out.
We'll consult.
Exactly. Now, speaking of the Papaya Boys, I do want to add, we'll consult for some paddock tickets. Anyways.
Correct.
Speaking of the Papaya Boys, we did have a special livery this weekend. They pretty much just added like white touches to their car as well as all white race suits. It was a clean look to me. I wasn't not too big of a fan, but I do like the nice like clean cut look it added to.
I really
boys.
liked the race suit. I felt like the race suits were really kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
The livery didn't hit for me.
No.
Oh yeah, no, I was just like, what's the difference?
It's giving HP sponsorship with Ferrari, which I also
well, they're becoming
hate.
MasterCard soon.
I know. I hate it. I loathe it entirely.
At least the colors, because that's McLaren, right?
Yeah.
At least the colors are close enough.
Yeah.
Because with
the colors
HP,
will flow nice.
the MasterCard colors I feel like will ideally, hopefully, fingers crossed, flow nice. HP and Ferrari.
It's that ugly blue. I hate it so much.
I didn't put the HP stickers on that car for a reason. The reason being, I hate it.
I do have to talk about Red Bull for a hot sec because Red Bull, obviously, they have not done like any specialty liveries this year because I don't know if it's that they don't have it in the budget or if it's an issue with the weight with the car.
Yeah.
But they haven't done like any, and that's fine. But they did show up with some really cool hats and some t-shirts that appeared to be a collaboration with Yeti. I barely saw the t-shirts. I really only saw the t-shirts on Instagram. But the hat, I really liked the hats though. I don't always love the like burnt orangey vibe, but I liked the fact that they had the hats where there was like a very subtle pattern to them. There were like horses and horseshoes and stuff like that. It was subtle.
Yeah.
It was very Texas. The t-shirts, I wish I had seen more of what the shirts actually looked like.
Yeah.
But I loved them. Speaking of Red Bull though, Max did drop a really kind of fun, I don't know, it was totally US Grand Prix inspired, but he dropped some new merch. If you don't follow the Verstappen.com, account on socials, I highly recommend it. The merch was really cool. It's very Max, but the price range is fantastic. I will say I looked at the jacket that he had dropped because he dropped almost like a bomber style, like
It's
racing.
varsity style too, isn't it?
Oh, yes,
There's
it was a varsity style.
Yeah, it's a varsity style.
And it was
That's
like
cool.
Yeah.
$135.
A varsity jacket in high school isn't even $135.
No.
They're like $400.
Max, who are you?
And granted, I even added it to my cart to try to see what the duties and fees were going to be, and it didn't even look that bad with shipping. I think when I texted Rachel about it, when I first saw it before we even got here, before I got here, it was like $145 or something with shipping to me
like
in Massachusetts.
That's not
And
bad.
I didn't no line items for duties or tariffs or anything like that. I'm wondering if they built it into pricing or what.
Probably.
But like compared to the race jacket that Lando Norris dropped, that was like well over $200 for the jacket.
Danny's drop.
All of it hurts my soul.
Because it's what,
I just-
$225 for a jacket?
Yeah. I loved that Max did some stuff that was fun, very Max in style, and very reasonable in price.
Yes.
We did also get a livery from Aston Martin, and honestly, I think it might be my favorite. It's very subtle, but I really, really like that they added formulas that have to do with F1 to their F1 car. It was just really kind of cool and funky and subtle. The only thing I didn't really love was the black race suits. I don't know why, but they just felt very meh to me. Mm-hmm.
I feel like they would have been better for Vegas. I also kind of wonder, like, are those Adrian Newey formulas?
Probably.
I feel like that would be so cool.
Very true.
I wouldn't be surprised.
No, I wouldn't either. I think that would make the most sense. Like, I don't know.
We did also, as always, get a livery from Haas. Haas always does one for Texas because
The
they're
American
the
team.
Currently, they're the only American team on the grid. And they brought back the Stars livery that they do pretty much every year. They also did some merch with it. The merch was actually, I think, better than the livery. Was better than the livery itself because they did a t-shirt where it was like Haas hot sauce. And it was honestly really cute and really funny. I love it. They also included some hats. The hats weren't my favorite thing, but that's okay. The Stars livery was just to me because it's pretty much the same version livery that they do almost every year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really not much different. And I wish it was better. Ollie also gave us a helmet. I haven't seen a ton of pictures of it, but it was just like red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
It was kind of Americana, kind of not. He's a Brit, so like I wasn't expecting to be smacked in the face with like a ton of Americana energy. We did also get a livery and race suit combo from Williams. I loved the white and blue. Do I feel like it was giving Texas? No, but that's okay.
Apparently it's a retro livery from 2002 for the year that Atlassian, their title sponsor, was established. We're not going to talk about how 2002 is now considered retro.
Crazy
Moving
word.
on.
That hurts my soul on so many levels. Williams, you just called me old in multiple different ways. Alpine also gave us a livery. It was with some yellow. It was kind of cool. It was in collaboration with Mercado Libre Argentina, same organization that Franco also collaborated with for his specialty lid that was yellow and white. I liked it. It was very clean.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked Franco's helmet. The livery from Alpine was kind of odd. The little bit of yellow with the pink and blue just didn't quite flow the way I wanted it to.
It would have been cooler if they could have replaced the pink with the yellow.
Yes, that would have been
yeah.
really cool. The one thing with specialty liveries and race suits that had me really scratch my head was the race suits from Mercedes.
Yeah.
I kind of dig them, but I also have a lot of friggin' questions because they're claiming that the race suits are inspired by the Mojave Desert. The Mojave Desert is in California. The race is in Texas. Make it make sense, people.
It would have made more sense if they'd done it for Vegas, because obviously Vegas is closer to California. the Mojave was for an IWC Mojave watch. Is what I think the base of the theme was, because that was the event that my friend did.
That makes sense.
So that was the base of it, but yeah, it still would have made more sense. I'm assuming it is just to coincide with the launch of said watch, but if they could have just pushed it back just like a month, and done it in Vegas,
it would have made more sense.
Would have made more sense.
So close.
Would have made a lot more sense.
So close.
But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But again, they need consultants. They need American
Please hire us.
They need American consultants. You can hire every single one of us. We will happily work for Paddock tickets.
I think one of the pundits at one point said that they were talking about it's very Hollywood and that we're not that far from Hollywood. And someone posted on Threads that the Google Maps distance, and it was a 20-hour drive. And they're like, not
that far from Hollywood? Okay.
Not that far. Like, not that far? Debatable.
Anyway. I do have to mention, I think this is like my favorite thing, like the whole weekend, Lewis and his special plus 44 Austin drop. I'm hoping and praying this man has something for Brazil, because I will wait in line with Chris. That's all I'm going to say. I loved his cowboy persona, like him having the, like, riding on the horse and everything. Like, big fan of this side of Lewis, and I feel like it was just healing for him after losing Roscoe, like just being around another animal like that. So like, I don't know, it was just like,
there was a really cute photo of him holding Leo.
Yes, there is.
Oh no,
I saw that.
I died over Cowboy Lewis. It was something I didn't know I needed. The minute I saw Cowboy Lewis photos, I ran to my phone and sent them to Mel, because I was just like unwell, and I knew that she was going to be unwell with me.
Yeah.
I gasped. The gasp I gasped was the first of many this weekend. Yeah. Let's see. So we can talk about the liveries and everything. All we gotta say is teams, you can literally have a singular girl from PGP for each team.
Facts.
Like, call us. All we want is paddock passes. We'll take grandstand tickets, like anything, to be honest. I want to go to Coda. So yeah, thank you. We'll talk soon. Now we got to go into race chaos. And of course, it's a sprint weekend. So, we only have one free practice session, which I still think it's cuckoo bananas, but it is what it is. And the only really big thing from FP1, the only FP, is that Carlos and Charlos, we're having reliability issues with their cars. It just looks like their little bonds never break. But also Esteban and Lewis were complaining about issues with their cars as well.
That's one issue I have with sprint weekends, is they only get one free practice and then they have issues, and then you're like,
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Our top three for FP1 were Lando, Nico, Ariana. What are you doing here? And
literally.
Yeah, well, the crazier thing is your bottom five, honestly, because you had Franco, Pierre, Kimi, which makes sense, but then it gets real weird, because then you had Carlos, and
which is not so weird, but
Charlo.
kinda.
Charlos.
It was the fact that you had Charlos as your bottom two. Make it make
Bonds
sense.
can never be
people.
broken. Bonds can never be broken, besties. Now, of course, free practice is done and over with, and then Friday afternoon we go into SQ1. Now, Charles, my boy, Charles. He had me stressed out in SQ1 because it was nearing the time of the end of the first session, and like he was like on a flying lap, and he just hits traffic right at the final corner, and he barely made it into SQ2.
That was so stressful.
It was so stressful, like so unnecessary.
For what? Out of SQ1 was Ollie, Franco, Yuki, Esti Besti, and Gabby. Couple of those track, Yuki I was a little surprised about.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit... No, it was just Yuki.
Yeah.
It
was
just Yuki.
Now, going into SQ2, again, Ferrari. You guys know, Ferrari, what is going on? Because, like, why are we struggling?
They can't get it
still?
together.
Honestly, 2026, we back, baby. We'll get it 2026. We'll be back 2026. At this point, 2027 too, because you know what? 2026 is probably going to be a shit show. And then we had a lap time deletion for Liam. And then out of SQ2, we had Kimi, Isaac, Pierre, Lance, and Liam.
For the end of sprint quali 3, your top 10 lined up as follows: Max, Lando, Oscar, Nico, George, Fernando, Carlos, Lewis, Alex, and Charles rounded us out in 10.
Now, sprint was crazy. That's all I will say, because just be ready for a whole roller coaster of emotions and probably possible tangents. I do have to say, Max had an amazing start. Straight zoom. That man zoomed away, literally.
Mm-hmm.
He was off like the flash. I can't even lie. We had a really, honestly, the thing that was more surprising to me was the slow start that we got from Lando Norris. Sometimes Lando does really well with his starts, and sometimes he really doesn't. And this was one of the moments where he really was just not doing well.
Like, it's more of a not than a does.
I was gonna say, I'm never surprised when he doesn't have a strong start. But yeah, you know what? Another topic for a different day, because the McLarens had crashed and they both DNF'd. Literally, if you look in the notes, it's just turn 1 chaos. Like, it was bonkers to watch, like, going, like, starting. Turn 1, lap 1.
I'm reading this note verbatim because I giggled writing this. Holy contact, Batman. Literally, holy contact, Batman. It was like Fernando into Nico, and Nico into Oscar, and Oscar into Lando. Like, it was just dominoes.
It literally was a domino effect. It was just like one of those like turns where it was like super tight, and like no one had anywhere to go, and that was just the repercussions of where everyone was just... Listen, if Lando had a better start, he may have not DNF'd, if we're being honest. But what killed me the most was the Nico's front wing just flying. But I do have to say, thank God for the halo, because that halo like ran, like I looked into like a different video like later on socials. It like flew over Lewis's car, like it literally hit his halo and just like bounced off and kept going. So thank God for that.
It honestly was the rogue tire off of Lando's car that had me both wheezing and screaming at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Literally, yep.
Because I really did not expect to see both McLarens and Fernando out. Nico surprisingly like managed to keep his car going. Like, I just really was unprepared for all of that. I did not have that on the video.
It was insane.
It was insane. I'm adding the shot of Lando's tire and then Lando in the background to the collection of rogue tire shots that we've gotten over the past like couple of years. I love the rogue tire shots. I think they're hilarious.
I'll never forget the one of Yuki's like rolling.
The fact that Nico was still going and he had like no nose, like he had no front wing, no nose. No. Hilarious. That was so funny to me. And the fact that he also said that it's the like he did something to the front wing. He like told us on the radio is like, I have front wing damage, and I'm like, no
shit.
Like,
you don't say.
Huh. No, literally. But like there was so much debate around this incident. To me, and I know like the racing officials and all that stuff even said it eventually, it was just a racing incident. And that's what it looked like to me. It was just like kind of like wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
Just the domino effect just went into the other, and it happens.
That's why I love Austin, though, is that turn 1 is bananas. Not only is it the incline
up a hill,
but
yeah,
it's why I love Austin, because turn 1 with the incline, and it's basically a hairpin, is insane. It's like a hairpin into the S's. I love Austin. I love the race. I love the track. I don't love the city. Could not care less about the city. Don't care. Also, Yuki getting a puncture after driving over Nico's front wing. Not surprising. You're driving over front wing. If he had no damages, I would be surprised. But that is just kind of funny to me.
But what surprised me the most about Yuki is that he started off at like 18th, and at this point he was up at 8.
Yeah.
So he went up like 10 places. Not gonna complain.
I feel like this just made the weekend so much more interesting, because I don't think anybody really expected the sprint to be this chaotic and have this much drama, especially because there was like only a few hours between when they finished the sprint and when qualifying actually took place. Yeah. So it was just like, okay, you've got at least 3 cars that all need to get worked on them in a like 2.5 to 3 hour window.
Mm-hmm. It's insane what they have to go through, to be honest.
And it was the one radio message that had me giggling was from Nico, where he said, definitely the front wing was an issue for him. And I'm like, yeah, no, you don't say, sir. You don't say.
Wonder what would have given you that idea.
Right.
The F1 TV team really was like super sassy with
they
that
were on
sprint
one this weekend.
Because I don't even remember who the heck said it, but someone said they like stewarding their own decisions, and it was just not something I expected to hear, and it gave me a really great laugh.
They were definitely on one this weekend. Charles, my boy, he was noted for a safety car infringement, but thank the F1 gods because no further investigation. I cannot take the stress anymore from this fan and this team. Like, ugh.
The thing that had me so stressed out was George and Max. We already know that those two do not play well with each other. I did not need the heart palpitations, people. I really, really didn't need it.
No,
not
that
at
is a really nice one way to cause another safety car, though. George v. Max. It's one way to cause a safety car.
The gasp that left my mouth when I saw Carlos was up in third. What in the heck? I don't even know how he got up there. I was just like, I blinked and he was up in third. Mm-hmm. It was fantastic.
Literally. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I love that for him. And then, of course, we had some more drama because Esteban and Lance had collided at one point, and then Essie Bessie was out. But y'all know, my PGP listeners, my PGP pesties, know I am the president of the Lance Hater Club. I have to question his thought process, and I do this every single race weekend. Because after, like, that whole thing, like, he, like, when he collided with Essie, like, he just, like, went back on track and stopped. I don't know anymore about this man.
Just vibes.
Literally. Lights on, no one's home, clearly.
No, that's just vibes.
I really think that Lance maybe thought that his car was fine and he was going to be able to keep going. I don't know. It's the fact that those two are actually besties in real life that, like, makes it even worse, in my personal opinion.
Yep.
But the angle that Lance's tire was at was wild. Mm-hmm. The even crazier thing was in the replay, it was the thunk that you heard with the contact, because that was, like, loud.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And then, of course, the drama doesn't stop here because Ollie was given a 10-second time penalty for gaining an advantage against Kimi. The little rookies, like, battling it out also gave me bad anxiety because I was just like, oh my God, not the rookies. Like, please, no, please, no. But yeah, poor Ollie Bear.
It was the radio message from him that, like, hurt my heart. Like, oh, baby, please, no.
Yeah, it was just like...
At least he didn't get penalty points.
Thank God.
Yeah, that's true.
He's already so close to a race ban.
I think he's like 2 points away from a race ban.
He is.
I'm not surprised.
He is. He's so close to a race ban, and I need him to not.
He's taken up the mantle from K-Mag, it feels like.
Truly.
Just keeping the Haas traditions going.
Truly.
Yeah.
The craziest thing with the sprint was I really and truly did not have 4 DNFs in a sprint on my bingo card. Ever.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it was more common when the sprint determined the grid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But our top 8 for the sprint were Maxie in P1, George P2, Carlos P3, and then Lewis P4, Charles P5, Albon 6, Yuki 7, and Kimi Antonelli in 8. Which is really good for him. I'm proud of him.
I was very proud of him too.
Yes.
What I really loved post-sprint was the sprint awards. The belt buckles had me dying.
Yeah.
In the very best way. Normally I say something has me dying and that's not a good thing. I loved the belt buckles.
Yeah.
What I really and truly loved was the fact that they were given out by the Woodhalls. If you know, you know. I love them. They're adorable. They're just so iconic.
Yeah, I was a big fan of the belt buckles too. I thought it was a nice, like,
It's a very
Texas
Texas
touch. Yeah.
this
It's
thing.
so southern. It's
Yeah.
just, it's perfect. I have no
I agree.
notes.
I agree. Now, of course, we turn around and a few hours later, it is quality time. Now, going into Q1, McLaren's, they were still working on their cars right before the start of quali, literally till like the last possible second. And I think if I remember hearing correctly, like the commentators, like Crofty was even talking about, like they get some sort of penalty or like a fine if they like continue working on the car if quali starts. So that kudos, give those mechanics a raise, like
Facts.
We
Like,
say it every
what?
time.
Every time.
every single time. They deserve it, like for real. Now,
Truly.
At least let them fly first class.
thank
Yeah.
you, exactly. And now remember that incident between Lance and SD from the sprint. There was a 5-place grid penalty for Lance. I am not shocked. Insert shock Pikachu meme here because that was literally like me. I was just like, wow, shocked, so shocked.
Honestly, I felt like I was torn between them, feeling like insert shocked face here and insert eye roll here. Because,
Literally.
like, what?
Yeah.
No, yeah, same.
Lance,
Same.
my guy.
He's lucky his dad owns the team. Anyways, and
Hey.
now we had a yellow, for real, we had a yellow into a red flag because me and Amy's favorite rookie Pookie, Isaac, found himself in the barriers with no front wing.
I was crying in the goddamn club, y'all.
You and me both.
Not
You and me
our
both.
baby. Not the youngin'. I really
Not our favorite.
not
Little baby Isaac.
not Isaac. Anybody but Isaac, but I also could
Yeah.
totally hear him screaming a la the F2 days in
He
the car.
like looked so frustrated because like you can see like when they did the close on him, like he was like
banging on his wheel.
yeah, he even like hit his like he was so
Yeah.
frustrated because like he just like lost it and just like found himself.
Yeah,
in
he
the
really
barriers,
did. Like it looked like he just lost control of the car.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he just went.
Yeah.
yeah, literally.
I could hear the F2 screams.
Yeah.
I
In my-
never
in my
really
head.
to be honest. And of course, it wouldn't be a casual quali without some lap time deletions. And we had the first ones come out for Lando, Alex, and shocker, Lance.
Honestly, it was Albano that like really broke my heart.
Yeah.
Just like
No,
no.
Literally.
Yeah. Out in Q1 were Gabby, Esty Bestie, Lance, Shock, Alex, and Isaac. And then
Like,
Lance, because of his 5-place grid penalty, got bumped down to 20th. Which also
so shocking.
not a shocker.
So shocking. Oh my god. Anyways, now going into Q2, of course, the lap time deletions continue because we had Pierre be the next victim. But Yuki always kills me with his radio messages, especially with like how much he's calmed down with like the cursing and everything. I do miss
It's unfortunate.
unhinged Yuki. I do. But I was dead at his like complaining about Liam slowing him down because even the commentators were like, this has been happening like a lot, and it's just like, weird, interesting.
Methinks those two do not get along very well.
Probably not anymore.
But also, like, keep a tally, take a drink, if you're of legal drinking age, of course.
Hash
The
it
amount
out.
of times
Something.
that you hear any one of us say the words lap deletion.
Literally. Because who's next? Nico.
Though they like literally there were so many lap deletions. I was like, what are we watching? Austria 2023? I don't
Oh my god.
Like, what
That was
is
crazy.
what is going on? Sprint quali, race quali, like everything.
What's
I'm like,
next?
what?
I was so excited to actually see the list of all the lap deletions for the race weekend, because obviously if you are like me and you love just seeing all the data, the FIA bot account on both Threads and Twitter is your saving grace.
It is.
If you're not following them, what are you doing? It saves you from having to scour the FIA website to find it yourself.
Facts.
But they put out for both free practice, for sprint quali, for the sprint race, for quali, for the race, all of the lap deletions. And I am going to count up all of the lap deletions that happened throughout the weekend, and we'll pop it on our socials with the amount of lap deletions, because honestly, I think this race weekend in its entirety was just like chock full of lap deletions galore.
Literally.
By the end of Q2, we lost Nico, Liam, Yuki, Pierre, and Franco. Again, kind of your usual suspects.
Yeah. Now, going into Q3, again, Charles, please help. Because he spun the car, kept it within limits. The man didn't even, get, out of limits. That's how, crazy that save was. And was able to cross the finish line to put in a lap time. If you're not on TikTok, I suggest you get a TikTok and follow F1, because they literally did the little, they did that meme where it's the witchcraft, la brujeria, blah, 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 something like that in Spanish. And it was Charles spinning around. I died. And you know what? Maybe that witchcraft did work.
That is, Charles, hun, not the time for donuts.
Not at all.
No.
Not the time for donuts. Save it. Save it for Abu Dhabi. Save it for Vegas later. Not right now, bud. Not right now.
Please.
But I will say, my dad, who works the race every year as a marshal, was at turn 20 this year, and that happened right in front of him. He was telling me all about it. He's like, it was really cool. It was so fun to see. And I'm like, Dad,
not the
what?
time.
Not the time.
Is
for
it
donuts.
really?
But my dad is also a Max fan, so
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Now, our top 10 going into Sunday Fun Day. We had Max in P1, Lando in P2, followed by Charles in P3, George, Lewis, Oscar, Kimi, Ollie, Carlos, and Fernando rounding out the top 10. Now, we go into our favorite day of the whole week, Sunday race day. Now, I do want to say, I know we've been always so critical about the new designs they've been doing of the trophies, especially some questionable ones that looked very, very questionable or don't make any sense. But I want to say I am a big fan of the trophies that we had today. Huge fan, iconic behavior. The Longhorns were such a nice touch. Again, that whole Texan, Southern Texan I loved it.
There are times when stereotyping Texas is okay, and it is. The trophies are one of those times. I feel like I'm obsessed with those trophies. That was such an iconic and such a creative design.
Mm-hmm.
I'm honestly slightly surprised that no one's thought of it sooner. According to motorsport.com, the trophies came from a collaboration between Bowen Studios' Brent Bowen and ORE Designs' Shane Larson and the F1 Las Vegas GP creative director Ken Ozawa. That's who kind of designed these trophies, and amazing, iconic.
They don't need
fantastic.
us. They do not need us.
They don't need us. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what the Vegas trophies look like too.
Yeah.
I was so obsessed with these trophies. I almost want a mini version of that trophy.
It'd be really
It's
cool
just
to have one.
So cool. I do feel in general F1 should consider making minis of some of the more iconic trophies that we've seen. This year's Coda, the Hungarian
ones.
Grand Prix, ceramic ones.
I don't think that would be through the company though.
Well, it doesn't necessarily
That's
have
true.
to be the same material. You could still probably make a
Little
less-
replicas.
a more cost efficient version to do bulk versions. Obviously, you'd probably lose some of the details and stuff.
They're hand painted. That's the problem, because that's the problem that Lando ran into with his helmet, was he couldn't do mini helmets. People really wanted them, but it was hand painted.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
I would love to see some mini trophies
Yeah.
in the future. I think in general, I think it could be really cool. I think fans would potentially enjoy that.
I like that.
If y'all think that that's a good idea, let us know, because I want to know if I'm crazy or not. The start of this race had me so stressed out, though, because I don't know what the heck happened with Albano. I really and truly don't know. We did get a really fantastic start from Max, though, which, again, is unsurprising. He started in P1, but, like, Max just always does well in starts.
Yeah.
Again, he just zoomed away into the ether. But I do have to say that Charles had also one hell of a start, because he just, like, jumped up to, like, second place. Like, it was cake for him.
Yeah, that was absolutely no surprise there for Max at all. I would have been more surprised if he didn't have a good start. And absolutely killer move from Charles. I love to see it when the Ferraris actually are doing somewhat well. I really... Coda is just a great track for Charles. He does really well at Coda. Yeah, it's a nice change in pace as a Ferrari fan.
I can agree with you on that one. But yeah, as Amy had mentioned, something was going on with Alex's car, because he just was going like stupid, slow, like snail's pace. And it turned out that him and Gabby had a collision, and they were noted by race control about it. So yeah.
The Charles and Lando battle for second had me stressing. I was like, Charles is the kind of guy that he's going to take you out with him before he lets you pass him.
No, seriously.
Rachel and I were at a bar together watching this race, and oh my god, it was so loud.
I can just imagine the energy in there.
Oh, insane.
But of course, track limits just continue, because a black and white, this is the first of like many. The black and white flag came out for Isaac, because yes, track limits. Esteban was noted for a false start, and then Kimi spun out, but luckily he like made it back on track. Again, like, why are we doing donuts in the middle of a race? And then Carlos, he DNF'd at lap 7, and then a virtual safety car came out.
It was the way I was internally crying. Seeing Carlos go out with the contact with Kimi. Again, the bar was so freaking loud. I do have to say, I loved the way that people in the States have been so hyped up for Carlos. It was just really nice. The crowd was so loud for him. It was noted that the Carlos-Kimi situation was going to be investigated after the race. So we had no real updates on that in the moment.
No, that was so sad. It looked like Carlos was trying to go on like the inside of Kimi, and he kind of maybe locked up a little bit and wasn't far enough back to avoid contact with Kimi. It was
a racing incident.
Very, very sad racing incident. C'est la vie.
There was no further investigation for Esteban's little situation, so there were no real issues for him, thankfully.
They
should have just thrown in a 10-second time penalty for Ocon for funsies.
Just for fun.
Just for old time's sake.
Never forget when he had, like, I forgot how many seconds he had, like, that started, like, the season race. I think it was Australia.
It was.
It was insane.
Lot. It was a lot.
I just would have DNF'd the car myself. I would have been like, you know what? DNF, we're done.
At some point.
Whatchamacallit. Anyways, so then McLaren. They were out here with their little bluff calls again. And it was just killing me, because it's like clearly like they knew what they were doing, like what they were trying to do, and like no one was like catching on to it. But it to me, it was just hilarious.
Yeah. What can you do? I mean, I think we've established that team can't get it together. Except for to do bluff calls.
Facts.
Don't know why. One of my favorite commentary from DC this weekend. Clean pass for once from Lance. My guy. I love DC. That is not word for word, but that is basically
what he said.
What he said.
Commentators were on one this weekend for sure.
On one.
So spicy.
I love it. I love it when they're spicy.
Honestly, though, but like, talk about shots fired from David Coulthard. If anyone is going to be that kind of sassy to other drivers, it's probably DC.
Or Nico Rosberg.
Seeing Lance up 6 places was just like so wild around lap 18. I don't even know how he got up that far without us seeing. Again, I have questions with the TV coverage in terms of like what they're showing us, because I feel like there were lots of things that we didn't get to see still.
Yeah. You know, they love to show a replay of the start like 20 million times from different angles. Because it's true. Now, my Ferrari little heart. Again, I was stressed. Why were Lewis and Charles having such a good battle? Like, it was such a good wheel-to-wheel action battle, but like, I was just like, oh my God. Because I was like, if Charles is not going to be on the podium, I want Lewis on the podium. Ideally, I want both of them, but I was just like, oh my God, they're going to take each other out. Oh my God, oh my God.
The last thing we need as Ferrari fans is a double DNF. I think as the drivers, the last thing they also need for their mental health is a double DNF. And I'm pretty sure at the bar, I screamed, we do not need a double DNF.
Absolutely not.
Like, I was like, please, for the love of God. Like,
yeah, literally.
Just, no.
Yeah, seriously. Now, McLaren, what happened to your record-breaking pit stops? Because not only did Lando have a really slow pit stop, but also Oscar did, but it just...
Oscar's wasn't as bad as Lando.
Oscar's was 2.6.
Yeah, Lando's was a lot slower.
Lando's
I remember
was
that.
Like
it was
3
just like
point something, and
yeah.
Oscar's
yeah.
was a 2.6.
But still, it was pretty slow, I feel like.
Yeah,
But I mean...
That is on the slower side.
Yeah.
But still, the 3 point whatever for Lando was just like, okay.
Yeah.
And then Ollie. He spun like crazy again. What is with the donuts this weekend? And Yuki literally missed Ollie by the skins of his teeth. Like talk about like fast reflexes and everything, but like it was just insane. Like watching him just go by like it was nothing.
Yeah, I fully thought they had. I thought they made contact. Thank God they did. Thank God they didn't. But it really like that was a really close call. Really close call.
Yeah, it really was. Now, what I loved the most, of course, one of my favorite things when they go down to like Texas is like everyone, like all these like European men just take on this whole Texas personality with the cowboy hats, the cowboy boots, like the lassoing, all that. But what killed me was seeing Ollie's dad with his cowboy hat. The poor man was dressed as always, but
Papa Bearman, the icon you are.
Yep.
It was the way that like he specifically had angled his headphones so he could still keep the hat on and have his headphones on. Iconic behavior, sir. We love to see it. He also actually looked really good in the cowboy hat. Like, it didn't look totally out of place.
No, exactly.
On
like,
him.
it fit him really well.
I might have done like a different color. I'm not sure that
Yes.
color was like really good for him, especially with the like pink shirt that he was wearing. But
No, I would have probably done like a darker brown, tan,
or at least a different color shirt.
something.
Yeah.
But
Anyway,
that's a whole different story. We did get another set of black and white flags for Lando Norris for track limits. Low key, it was the call for me earlier in the race where Charles pointed out that Lando went over track limits from Charles' rear view mirrors. I was dying. I don't even know how many times. I think Lando got at least 2, maybe 3. I think there were 3 black and white flags.
It was 3 too.
Which is just like really not good at all.
you only get a black and white flag if you get 3 track limits 3 times. You get a black and white flag to warn you that if you go off again, you get a penalty. So when Isaac got his black and white flag at the beginning, earlier in the race, he had already hit track limits 3 times. Yeah, no, but Charles, I'm like, Charles, what do you mean that you saw Lando go off track and called him out when he's behind you? And those mirrors are tiny.
Is the man like Lord Voldemort with like, or what is
That
it?
man can see
Professor
everything,
Quirrell with
apparently.
Voldemort behind him? Like,
eyes in the back of your head.
Apparently.
No, literally. But what kills me the most, okay, so yeah, I'm a Charles fan. Literally, when I heard I was like, I literally was just like, track limits, because I really wanted Lando to get that penalty.
I wanted him to get fourth track limits so bad.
I was just like, do it.
Funny. And it would put Max closer. And I'm living for this title fight.
I love it.
For the plot. For the plot. Now the black and white flags continue because who was next? Alex, and then Kimi. How many do we have now? Who knows?
The limit does not exist?
The limit does not exist, apparently.
Send your guesses. The prize will be nothing, but we want your guesses.
Now, as Mel said, black and white flags just really kept coming because lap 38, Gabby gets a black and white flag for track limits. I again, with the FIA docs, I wish there was a list of how many black and white flags that get put out in a race because I'd love to know the total number.
Mm-hmm.
It's giving Austria 2023 where everybody was like getting noted in quali for track limits and the stewards were up until like 2 a.m. tolling out, trying to figure out what the grid was supposed to be.
Oh my god.
And then they had to fix the track because the FIA threatened to never have a race there again because of the track.
It was crazy.
Too many.
We just had the most wild race this weekend in COTA, I feel like. It was kind of funny, though, to have your final podium finishers be your starting top 3. Your podium finishers were Max in P1, Lando in P2, and Charles in P3.
Our fastest lap went to Kimi, which I love that for him. And he kept it for pretty much the whole race. I don't really think he lost it. Maybe like a couple of times.
I think Max had it a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was mainly
He was
Kimi.
close to a Grand Slam. I remember like the commentators were like, oh, it's a Grand Slam weekend for like Max and blah, blah, blah. I was just like, good for him.
Interesting.
But of course, I'm very happy about driver of the day, Charles. And we got podium, so a win's a win, baby.
A win's a win.
Well, take
a win is a win.
Now, I do have to say, because a lot of F1 fans had a lot of strong feelings recently over the TV direction that F1 has been doing. They finally, at least for this race, didn't really show us the garages, the girlfriends, the grandstands during the race. Yes, there was the shot of Papa Bearman, but that was acceptable. You were giving us a reaction to something.
And Papa Bearman has great reactions to things.
Facts. So thank you, F1 gods, for doing that. Please keep it that way. I guess you could say that, like, fans complaining / bullying kind of works.
Bullying works. In this case.
Indifferent about it, because I really don't care. It's annoying when, like, you want to see something, like, the action and, like, something, like, some good overtakes are happening. And then we see, like, a close-up of, like...
Someone's girlfriend
is just, like... And she's just staring into the abyss all pretty.
Or a random celebrity who's, like, zoning out.
I actually like the celebrities because it's, like, kind of like, are you really a fan or are you not? You can always tell which one is or not. But... it's a nice change. At least we saw more action of the overtakes and the battles and everything. So, but again, I'm just indifferent about it. I don't really care. So
I like it because I sure, Pierre and Franco were in 17th and 18th, but that battle for those positions was really interesting to see and like kind of intense because like they were still battling and they still could have crashed and caused a red flag or a yellow flag or something.
Yeah,
you know
all
what
that
I mean?
Like midfield battles is
the midfield
nice
battles
too.
Are still interesting because they also can still cause issues that make the race even more interesting. What I really loved though is we got Menace Charles back. I love Menace Charles. I'm here for it. He
Always.
gave a masterclass in defending. He actually did also say yesterday, like he's like, I don't know, I'm gonna fully send it. I don't really have anything to lose, and he did. And it worked.
He's like, I just need a podium place.
He's like, I don't really have anything to lose at this point. I'm just going to full send. And he did. And he was absolutely a menace. And I love watching Charles defend. He's so good at it. Because he was defending
I really like
against,
watching him. Yeah.
He was defending against Max for like their entire karting careers. And that's why he's so good at it.
And then watching them with Lando was really cool too, because there's points where I can see not Lando. Charles was doing the same defending moves over and over again, and it's like, Lando, you're not seeing the pattern here. Like, you're not gonna try something else. Like, come on. Charles is my favorite driver, but I was just like, he's clearly like he knows what he's doing. Like, so, but yeah.
I do have a few post-race updates to provide everybody. We did get an update from the FIA on the Carlos-Kimi situation. Carlos was found at fault, even though he said that Kimi should have anticipated the overtake. Carlos ended up receiving a drop of 5 grid positions for Mexico and 2 penalty points on his license. He is now at a total of 4 points for the 12-month period. So thankfully, he is super safe from any ounce of race ban. That's going to take him a lot to even get to for the next 12 months, which is fine. But I think a lot of people may have questions on that decision from the FIA. That's a whole different situation.
FIA will FIA.
The most interesting thing, in my opinion, was the fact that Red Bull was summoned by the stewards for an alleged breach of failing to follow instructions of relevant officials as a grid incident. It's a sporting penalty. A sporting penalty is unlikely to be issued regardless of the verdict. As of before we started recording this episode, there were no updates on what that was going to be. It's likely going to be some sort of fine for them, but we don't really know what that fine amount is going to look like. We also don't really know what the situation was that caused it. I really want to know what the heck caused the summons, personally.
And it basically just means that no matter what the verdict is, it's not going to affect Max's first place.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, for the fans who are hoping that it's going to make him lose his P1, sorry.
Damn.
They'd have to really
I just want Charles and Lewis to be on the good P2, P3, that's all. I'm just being greedy. That's all. I don't care. Valid. So I don't care about Lando getting P1. Anyways, no hate to him. I'm not a McLaren or Lando fan, that's all. Now, you know what's next, besties. It's time for PGP predictions. Now, we're off to Mexico City for the Mexican Grand Prix. And as for me, no predictions. I just hope that all teams have a great time and that my team does well. If you know who my team is, you know. I don't want to jinx by saying my team's name or drivers. Thank you.
So, if you can't tell, well, if you're listening to this, you probably don't know, but if you're watching this on our YouTube, you can tell I am not in my usual setting. I am here with Rachel, which is fantastic. So I am currently in California. Therefore, I do not have my pendulum with me for my predictions this weekend. So I am simply going off of vibes here. So do not judge me. P1, I have Charles. P2,
please,
I have Oscar. And P3 is Maxi. I would love it. Will it happen? Who friggin' knows at this point?
I'm excited for Mexico. It's a great race. I love that track. I think it's fabulous.
Same.
I think we're gonna get another Maxi podium. I would love to get another Maxi podium. I would love to see Charles up there too again. Not sure if that'll happen because it's Ferrari, and as with Ferrari, you get 1 step forward and like 20 steps backwards. So not super confident in that. But I do think that Max is going to be on the podium, and I think we're probably going to see a double McLaren podium. Only time will tell. Truly, anything can happen. I think that was evident this weekend with the sprint race, and you never know. You never know. To round out our weekend, I would say we have a driver of the week. We have drivers of the week. We have a couple driver of the week. Verstappen, the icons that you are, from Charles's insane defending to Max having sprint pole position, winning the sprint, getting pole position for the race, leading every lap of the race, and winning the race. Verstappen was Verstappening the whole weekend. I love it. I'm here for it. I think Max and Charles love it. The F1 TV directors love it. I think the only person who maybe didn't love it was Lando because he was third wheeling the whole time, but it happens. Verstappen are our drivers of the week. I love some Verstappen moments.
Okay, besties, that is a wrap for us on our COTA recap From Max holding on tight to everything and the Papaya Boys fighting with each other, this weekend has been intense, to say the least. As always, make sure you drop your thoughts on the race and your predictions for the Mexico Grand Prix in our comments or our DMs, whatever you prefer. And as always, please make sure that you are following us on socials. Everywhere we are Paddock Girls Podcast. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and per usual, this is my PSA. If you want to see our beautiful faces, check us out on YouTube. We post videos of our episodes now on YouTube. If you're someone who likes to see people, it's a great way. We love it. So check us out there.
You can also get some video. You can also see Crouton.
Yes, you get visits of the fur babies, which is always fun. But it is time to turn up the mariachi music as we head to Mexico next weekend. As always, we will see you on the next lap, guys. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Leave us a 5-star review. Bye.